guys, I'm Meg. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, I'm going to apologize. I am sitting in my living room right now trying to film. My desktop is the only computer that I can get a steady video on, and I don't actually have a home for it yet, so it is on the table in my dining room. But I have the dishwasher going, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear that or how loud it's going to be, but I apologize for the excess noise. I know it's going to be annoying. But welcome back. We are here to do my February Project Pan check-in. Well, technically March, but I have all of my stuff sitting here. So why don't we just jump in and go ahead and start with my empties. So I know I said in my last video that I typically don't pan my makeup. I tend to get bored with it and just kind of push to the side until it just goes bad and then check it. But I'm really excited because I made a lot of progress on a lot of stuff here. Between progress and just emptying things, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Profusion blush palette. I had talked about that and that I had already kind of hit pan on it. But as you can see here, we have pretty much cleared it out. I know there's some left around the edges, but trying to dig color out of this anymore just isn't working. So that's already empty. Do not worry with there being 4 left in here. It's not getting thrown away. These 2 colors are actually, let me show you without the glare. These 2 colors here are a really good match for my sister, so she's going to go ahead and take those and use those up, and then the other one, the one's too bright for both of us, the other one is too dark for both of us, so after that it's just going to get thrown out. But for a $10 palette to have 2 blushes completely used up out of it, I was pretty impressed with this. The consistency was really great, the color and the pigment payoff was really nice. I would buy this again. I'm not going to, because otherwise there's 3 blushes that get wasted, because this one's too light for me, and this one would probably work for me as well, but to only use half of a palette just doesn't make sense to me. If they started selling these as individuals, I would 100% repurchase this top one that I had panned beforehand. But so that's where we're at with the blush. I do have a replacement for it. I'm going to talk about not actively trying to pan that one, but we'll get to that when I start talking about where I'm at with everything else and what I've added in. Next, we have the ColourPop eyeshadow in Birthday Boy. This was, like I said, a limited edition color from several years ago during their birthday sales. As you can see, it is just clinging to the sides at this point, and just, it's kind of a mess. I can't get any more pigment out of this. I use my fingers to apply this, and I can't get anything else out of this. It just crumbles when I did my intro and check-in, and I have repressed this into the pan twice. It doesn't want to stay in a solid pat at the bottom, and it eventually just migrated to the edges here, and I think that's all we're going to get out of that. As sad as I am to see this go, we're going to call this done. So, actually, if anybody knows of any dupes for this, it's kind of a champagne color with like a pinkish glitter to it. If you guys want, I can try to pull a very small swatch out of this, but if anybody can find a dupe for this, or if you know of anything that might be similar to this, please let me know. This was absolutely hands down one of my favorite eyeshadows, and I would love to have something similar to it, if not another one of these. ColourPop just doesn't make this anymore, so would love to know if there's anything similar. Outside of that, oh, I did have a couple of things that I added in afterwards, after filming my video last time, that I forgot to include in the video. One of them is the St. Ives Green Tea Scrub. That is currently in my shower. The packaging is completely opaque and I don't have scales to weigh and see how much is in there. It's almost gone though. I've squeezed the sides and looked through the opening and I can see just very little of it sticking to the sides, so that's almost done too. I did forget it in my shower, so don't have that to show you, but I mean, there's really no point if you can't see the progress in any way, shape, or form. One of the things that I did add afterwards, though, was this. This is the Olay Quench Body Moisturizer in Soothing Orchid and Black Currant. This I was not using as a regular moisturizer. I actually use this as a shaving lotion. So as you can see, it was up to here. So it was pretty full when I started. I actually, when I got back from the gym today, when I took a shower, I used this and used up the last of it. So this just got used up today. It's alright. The only reason I started using it as a shaving lotion is just because the formula is really thin. And putting it on, it was nice and it was light, but it didn't feel like it was doing anything. So I decided to use it as a shave lotion instead when I ran out of the bar soap that I normally use to shave my legs with. So this is all gone. I do have another one of these. I'm going to be pulling that out and using that one next month. So I do have another full one that I'm trying to get rid of, but this one's gone. Good for now. I believe this was also a product I added afterwards too. This was just a lavender bath soak that my sister gave me. There was only about this much left in it. It was like a use left in it. So I went ahead and used that. That's empty too. Not gonna lie, this was kind of a gimme product, but I knew it was there. I knew it needed to be emptied. I just didn't want it sitting around like some of the other stuff that I have. So I went ahead and used that up. It was actually really nice. It smelled really nice too, but yeah, so use that up. So speaking of body products, I have never been so happy to finish a product in my life than I was with this. This was the O'Keeffe's Rough and Red Relief. You can see the line there where it started. I talked about this in my intro and about how I bought this thinking I was going to love it and ended up hating it. I, for the life of me, could not remember why I hated this until I used it the night I filmed that video. You know, it was mostly full. You can see it's completely empty now. And I was never more excited to use up the last of a product than I was with this. It is so sticky. There is something about the formula of this where it did exactly what it was supposed to. I did actually have some eczema breakouts right along here, and as you can see, or maybe you can see, they are completely cleared up and gone now. So it did its job, but it was oily and sticky, and I was sticking to my bed sheets, which is just ridiculous for a moisturizer. So I was just trying to use this up as quickly as possible, and it took forever. I just finished this up on the 25th, I think. I was going to say if that date's wrong, I'll try to see if I can't edit in the actual date that I finished this up on, but yeah, no, I was trying so desperately to get this out of my collection, and it is empty now. It is going, and I am thrilled. I don't recommend it if you guys don't enjoy, you know, a stickier, heavier product. Even just little bits of it were just too much. It's just an oily formula. Like I said, it did exactly what it was supposed to do and did bring down my eczema breakouts, but it was just too much. Speaking of never-ending products, there is the Organics Argan Oil Dry Shampoo. This was about down to the gold band on this when I started. It's been in my collection for a long time, probably over a year at this point. Don't remember exactly when I bought this, but I didn't like this. The product itself is fine, like it works fine. I have another one from the same company that I use and it's great. The problem I had with this is that the scent that they used for this is just such a heavy floral, and it was just too strong for my taste. It was so heavy using this for the amount that I have to use for how thick my hair is, and everything. I would use it before I would go to bed, and the amount that I used, I would end up with a migraine almost immediately afterwards. The perfume was just too much. Product itself was nice. Perfume was overwhelming. But this was like never ending. I think I used this for 3 out of the 4 weeks of February consistently, and just about jumped for joy when I did finish this. I do have, like I said, I do have another one. It did get replaced in the project pan with the coconut miracle oil one. So this one, I love this. This one smells fantastic. It's lighter, it's sweet, it's not floral. This does everything that this does without giving me a migraine. So this I'm like more likely to repurchase after this one's gone. But we'll see how long this one takes me to use up. This one was completely full. So that's where we're at with those. Just real quick update on that one. And then as far as my fragrances, I did only end up using up one of them, and that was this little sample here. I don't know if you can see that. This is the My NY by DKNY. It was a sample from Scentbird that I got in January, and I was about halfway through it. I liked this. It was a little too peppery for me. I didn't mind using it, but it's just not something I think I'm gonna end up buying a full size of. But I think the sample size was really nice. It was great too. I have a new one of these, not that scent in particular, but I did get my new sample. So we're gonna add that into the project as well. I think that was it for the empty, so let's go ahead and start in on some of the products that I have been using. So I already talked about adding in the Coconut Miracle Oil Dry Shampoo. This one's brand new. We're just going to see where this goes. And this is all stuff that I'm adding in that I've used up the rest of. The replacement for the blush... The replacement for the blush palette is this right here. This is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush in... it is the Color Match C1-2 Baby Blossom. This, I'm actually wearing it right now. You can't tell, the lighting in here is terrible and it's making me look really pink, but it's interesting because you can see it's really light right here, but that's, oh God, that even swatch is bad. It looks really powdery. You can't see it right now on my hand too, but its swatch is really powdery and really just patchy, but applies to the cheeks really nice. So we're going to go ahead and try this. I've got a Milani baked blush somewhere too that I think is a similar color to this, and I'm probably going to alternate between the two of those just to see which one I end up liking better. I'm trying to match actually the Lush, I think it was the Lush color out of the Profusion palette. That was a really good match for me, so we're just going to see if this is not a better match or how I like it. Oh, you can see it a little bit right there. So it's a little pink. It swatches a little, you know, kind of chalky looking and dusty, but it's really nice. I've liked using this so far. That is all that I think. That's not all that I've added in. I was talking about getting another Scentbird sample. I'm going to be very clear. I am not big enough to be sponsored by Scentbird. It's just something that I found. I had it recommended through a friend, and then I was hearing about it on a couple of the podcasts that I listened to, and thought it would be an interesting thing to try out because I've just been really bored with a lot of my perfumes, trying to find a better scent for myself. But this month's sample is the Estee Lauder Sensuous Nude. I don't know if that's going to focus. Maybe. Yeah, no, that's as good as it's going to get. Sorry, I'm working off of my webcam on my desktop. But I've used this 3 times already, so it was pretty full when it was sent to me. That's where we're at now. I have used this a couple of times. I really like this. I found this one just randomly on a whim looking through their website, and I actually believe that I will be purchasing a full bottle of this when I am able to. It's just really beautiful. Rose notes, sandalwood, vanilla, and musk, which are like all things that I enjoy personally. They work really well with my body chemistry, so we have that we're adding into the mix. I'm going to try not to use this one as much, just because as far as my fragrances go, the other fragrance that I was using was this little Nest Black Tulip Rollerball, and it was completely full when I started, so it was up to this line here. It is barely underneath that line now. I've used this maybe 4 times, today included. It's nice. I enjoy the scent of this, but we're starting to get to a point where stuff like this is almost a little too heavy. It's been bouncing back and forth between about anywhere from like 30 degrees Fahrenheit to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit here. I live in the American South, so it's just, been told we're gonna be warming up in the next like month or so. And this is just gonna get a little too heavy, so I'm gonna try to use up as much of this as I can in the coming months. Otherwise these are just kind of gonna go to waste. It's just, I can't wear this the way that I would like to. Typically I do a little bit on my wrists, a little bit here, and a little bit right on my chest here. Because it's an oil roller, it breaks my chest out. So I can't wear it like that. I'm gonna have to get a little heavy-handed on putting it on my wrists and just a little behind my ears. So that's where we're at with this. I like it. It's getting a little heavy. So this is the ColourPop lip gloss that I put into my project pan at the start of things. I was talking about how I used to love this and I don't remember why I didn't use it anymore, and this has not moved an inch or a millimeter since I added it into the project pan. Turns out I hate this. I put it on to film that video and I was like, oh yeah, it's great. It feels like a chapstick. It's got really beautiful pigment. It's a beautiful color, which I'm still standing by that. It is absolutely a beautiful color, but it bleeds like crazy. I finished filming and I went and looked at myself in the mirror and I had it like down here, like all around my mouth. It just looked like I wasn't paying attention and just kind of like quickly put it on. It just, the bleeding on this is insane. If it didn't do that, I probably would have picked it up more. I haven't touched this. The other lip product I had in here was the Oh Sugar in Caramel lip balm. That's barely gotten used to. I think I used it all of twice. Once for, I think once for a birthday party that I was going to. I had done my makeup. I put that on as just a little bit of lip color. It is currently lost somewhere in my purse, which is why it hasn't been used anymore. So I'm gonna try to dig that out and actively try to use that a little bit more this time around. So I don't know that that lip gloss is going to get used at all. It transfers everywhere. It moves around too much. It bleeds. It's just not my favorite thing in the world. Excuse the coffee sips. As far as everything else goes, the replacement for the Birthday Boy Colourpop Super Shock Shadow was this one here. This is Lala. You can actually see now there is a little bit of a impression there. You can see where the pan is. Just to give you a comparison, you can see what the pan looks like. So the pan's got that little bump in the middle of it, and you can kind of see here that that's starting to poke through a little bit, which is great because this is not a color I would normally wear, and awesome. Oh goodness, I have my coffee sitting in front of me, and that definitely just came flying out of the pan into my coffee, so... We're going to dry that off and try to salvage that. Sadly, my coffee is not salvageable, which makes me sad. This is my first cup of coffee today, and it's about 4 o'clock. Okay. I'm going to leave that in there so you guys can see how much of an idiot I just was. But let's just drop that back in to the case. I can't believe that. There's a little bit of glue on the bottom of these to keep them in place, and apparently this one just did not adhere properly, but we're going to put the lid back on it, and then we're going to talk about it. So, this is not a color I typically reach for. I have it on right now. It's hard to see in this. It's just like an orange-based shadow. Oranges don't really tend to look that nice on me. When they're really nice and bright copper, I don't have an issue. This one's not so much bright coppery, like foiled coppery. This is just kind of a shiny orangey color. I'm enjoying using it. Like, aside from the color not being a good one for me, I have been quite enjoying using my Colourpop shadows again. I'm really kind of finding how much I really love that formula, using them again, and realized actually in the process of doing this that I'm missing 3 of my shadows. I have the Super Shock in Lace, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful purple. It's the only thing that I have seen that the color it is in the pan is the exact color it goes on the eyes. It is gorgeous, so I'm going to keep looking around for that. I don't know what I did with that. I have So Quiche as well, which is a shimmery brown, darker than the Birthday Boy. That's another one that I bought, hoping it would be a dupe for that. And then, I don't remember the color, like the name of it specifically, but I have a burgundy that I used to use all the time as a crease and corner shade. Absolutely beautiful. That one I have hit pan on. I have no idea where it is. So I have 3 shadows that I apparently misplaced in moving down here, and I'm now just realizing I have no idea where they went. So once I find those are going to start entering rotation for this as well. As far as eyeshadows go, the e.l.f. Mad for Mattes palette, this is where we're at here. You can see I have definitely hit pan. Oh. Sorry, I'm like blinding you guys with what's going on my computer, but you can see that I have used up that, or hit pan on this base shade. I have made very little progress on these ones here, but I have been using this one in my crease just to kind of give this color in particular some dimension. So we've definitely got a little bit of a dig into the palette on that one. I'm really enjoying this too. I used to use this all the time. I stopped using it because I got other palettes that I was using a lot, and I'm kind of mad that I stopped using this. Like, this is a really nice little palette. It goes on nice, it blends out really nice, and just it lasts all day. So I'm going to keep using this. I'm really liking this. You know, as I'm hitting pan on stuff, I think I'm still going to continue to use this for the other matte shades in it. But I really enjoy that. Just a quick check-in on this guy here. This is that liquid eyeliner. It is the dual-ended Pat McGrath liner. This side of it was coming up a little patchy. I think we may have hit that point on this end as well. It's just, yeah. It's gonna look fairly decent still right here, but that's, I can see it's starting to get a little patchy. It's a little dull right in the center of it, so we're starting to dry up on this, which is fine. I'm more than happy to retire this at this point. I have used it every single day since I've gotten this. Like I said at the beginning, this is really old, as seen by the fact that the label has worn off on this. Now that I'm looking at this, because this is what I use to do my eyeliner today, I may just go ahead and retire this now. It's pretty much gone. It's old past the point of, I think, using it. I really don't think I should be using it anymore. I might hang on to it and still try to use it, but I did buy a replacement for this. I do have a Stila, I think it's in the All Day waterproof liner. So I did buy a replacement for this, and it's not going to be a no-buy year, it's going to be a low-buy year, and I'm just going to start buying stuff just to replace what I have. So I think I might go ahead and retire this. I'm not sure yet, so I'm still going to count this as a progress. I'll let you guys know next time around if we keep using that. We're running into like 30 minutes at this point, and I don't know how much I'm going to cut out of this, so I'm going to try to move up. Just move a little faster with this. So the other product I have is the Strobe Glow palette from Profusion. I was using this shade here, Fairy Dust. It is a white highlighter that it has kind of a pink sheen in the pan, but it goes on and it's got kind of this like nice, pretty lavendery blue color. I'm really enjoying using that one. It's clearly, we have put a big dent in that palette, in that shade in particular. I think my goal is going to be to pan as much of this palette as possible this year, but we're almost done with that one there, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to a Super Shock Cheek that I have from Colourpop and Hippo. That one's almost gone too. That might be a gimme product, but we're going to go ahead and try to use as much of that as possible. Other than that, we have the Collab No Flaws Cream Concealer. This is where we're at now. That's quite a bit of progress. I think that's maybe about half of what was in there. I have measurement photos too. I'm going to try to insert these at the end. I'm going to take new photos and I'm going to insert those ones at the end. But that's where we're at with this. Made a lot of progress. Still hate this. It clearly, you can see it doesn't last very long. Like, I just put this on. It doesn't conceal a lot of the dark circles on me very well. It just ends up looking powdery, cakey, weird. So that's, can't wait for this one to be gone. Hopefully by the end of next month. We have a replacement for this already too. I bought an e.l.f. I think it's the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. So I'm really excited to try that. I've heard a lot of good things about that. This guy, it's the charcoal mask that I was trying to use up. It's just something I picked up at Walgreens. It was up to here. I think we're somewhere around here now. The packaging is really opaque. I'm having a hard time seeing through it, but I think we're about roughly here now. I've used it pretty much every weekend since starting, and I used quite a bit of it on my face. I'm actually liking this a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm doing a little bit of something for myself now. So I do this on Sundays, and then I actually, after taking off the makeup that I put on for filming. Actually not filming, for streaming. I'll talk about that in a second. But I use this afterwards and just kind of hang out and get some stuff done, and that's been really lovely to use. Been liking that a lot. And this was the replacement for my body lotion, my body cream. That's where we started. This is where we're at now. I'm going to make sure to mark this once I'm done. But I mean, it's a Bath and Body Works lotion. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It does its job. So it smells really nice. We're just going to keep using that. Other than that, I didn't talk about it because I forgot about it and then started using it. I've been using this Profusion eye primer, eyeshadow primer. I've been liking this a lot, actually. It's not as sticky as I remember it being, but we're going to go ahead and keep using this. I think it's been helping a lot with the longevity of my eyeshadows as well, but that's just an opaque product too. We're just going to try to use that up until it's gone, and I completely forgot to. I'm adding this into the mix of things as well. This is the Aussie Miracle Cures. It is a cute curl cream. It's got some coconut oil and jojoba oil in it. My hair is not curly by any means, but it is incredibly wavy. So, and it's been dyed several times, so like the ends of it get really dry. Nothing crazy, but I've been just kind of working this in lately after I shower, thinking I should probably use this up, that I didn't like it. I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I think I was just using too much of it initially, and so yeah, we're going to try to use that up as well. We're about halfway through it, I think. About halfway through. It smells really lovely too, but I really like this. Didn't think I liked it, but again, I think that was just user error and using too much of it. But I do have some other products that I'm thinking about adding in. They're not regular use items. Like I said, I don't typically wear foundation, but I do have some powder foundations that I purchased for special occasions like weddings and things like that. I have started using that for Sunday mornings. For those of you that don't know what I do for a living, I am a jeweler, and what that means is I both repair jewelry for a living, and I also make and design jewelry. I do actually have an MFA in jewelry design, and my Sunday mornings have now been dedicated to Twitch streaming, doing computer-aided design work. So anything that is 3D modeled in the computer, I have been trying to push myself to do more of that because it is a skill that I really enjoyed learning and really enjoyed in the first place, and I just don't do a lot of it anymore, and I hated that. It was something I really enjoyed and loved doing, and I decided that's something I want to start doing again. So Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. typically. I was late last week for streaming on Twitch.tv. It is also /Moralisaire, so you can actually just copy my handle from here and search it into Twitch, and you should be able to find the channel if that's something you guys are interested in watching. That is something that I do on Sundays. So feel free to stop by and check that out. Even if you're just curious, like, you can stop by for a little bit and just see what typically I do for a living. But start wearing makeup for that, because otherwise I end up like really red and kind of like splotchy, and not that I really care, but I do have the face cam up, so I do try to kind of reduce some of that. So I've been wearing the foundation for that. I have a bronzer that came in a set that I got for Christmas a couple years ago that I started using, so I'm using up some of those products as well. I might just check in the progress on those as well. I'm not really not actively trying to pan it. I just know that some of them are getting close to panning. Some of them are getting a little old. I might just try to pan them. I mean, just as much as I can or as fast as I can, using them solely for the purpose of streaming on Sundays. But other than that, everything else we've already covered. And yeah, so again, if you guys are interested in that Twitch stream, it is twitch.tv/Moralisaire. You guys can also talk to me on Twitter too at that same handle. You can pretty much find me everywhere based on the username that I use here. It's a name that I've used for just about everything. It's a character name that I developed like years ago for an online game that I was playing, and I just loved it and clung to it ever since, like to the point where I might actually end up naming a business after it someday. But yeah, so that's where we're at with Project Pan. Like I said, I'll try to insert some images as well as to where everything was beforehand. If not, I will try to be better about it next time. But yeah, that's everything I've got for today. I will see you guys in my next check-in.